Hi, this is Ed Roy, and it looks like we have another severe thunderstorm episode this afternoon. And all this heat, it's starting to pop up as we approach sundown. I think these thunderstorms are going to continue to move toward the southwest. And you remember what we had talked about earlier at one point. Whenever you have thunderstorms moving from northeast to southwest through Acadiana, you can put out a warning. I guarantee it. There's just something magical about those things. Let's take a quick look, and we'll see what shows up here on this radar. Here's the radar, and I'm going to put myself down here in the bottom. Uh, Here's Lafayette, just for your orientation, if you can't make it out there. And we do have thank you, Beck. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a large portion of the area that's to the southeast of Lafayette. Here's St. Martinville. And here is, of course, Lafayette. Let me back out just a little bit and we'll look at this. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect for another 41 minutes and advertising the possibility of three-quarter-inch hail as well as potentially 60-mile-an-hour winds. And we'll look at that and see what the Doppler can add to that information-wise. Let's see here. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45 for northeastern Iberia, north central St. Mary, and central St. Martin Parish. Severe thunderstorm is located where you see it on the radar, and it is moving toward the west at 10 miles an hour. Now, later on this afternoon, those thunderstorms will diminish in size and intensity. However, right now, we're going to have to watch them, and it looks like the thunderstorm is actually moving toward the southwest and not the west. So, Jeanerette, if you're watching this in Jeanerette, you are going to see some pretty good thunderstorm activity just moving into your area from the northeast. And let's see, I'm going to go back to the comment section. If you'd like to say something on the comment section, please feel free to do so. I think we're going to. I'm going to ask you to do this. Let's see, and I've been doing this a bit. So if you would like to make some comments, I'd like to know who's making the comments. So please go to this URL in your browser, streamyard.com/Facebook. And it will put you through a couple of little questions, and it'll allow me to see who you are when you make a comment. If you don't do that, then I don't know who's making the comments, and I'd like to know. So there you go. It's not required, but it would certainly be appreciated. There you go. And let me move this out of the way. So there we go. It's another hot afternoon. Temperatures in the area are pretty warm. We're seeing at the airport in Lafayette, 96 degrees. At Acadiana Regional Airport, 94 degrees. Of course, that's fixing to cool off just a little bit. I'm going to look at, we're looking at the last National Weather Service radar in Lake Charles. Let's go look inside the thunderstorm. And you can see where the heaviest winds are. Let's see if we can get some sort of quantification on those winds. It looks like, yeah, there's some 40, possibly 50-mile-an-hour winds in this. Some gusts to 60 is very possible. So if you're in the Sherrington area, Jeanerette area, Baldwin area, you are going to be in the core of that heaviest portion of the thunderstorm. Winds in the Lowerville area should be gusting in a bit as the thunderstorm moves toward the southeast. But this is a pretty heavy wind right here, and of course the green indicates that the rain is heading back toward the radar. So I'm not seeing any kind of rotation in this, but there will be some strong winds, and it's capable of producing some broken tree branches and the like. So there you go. So we'll watch this thing. I'll put it back in motion here, and you can see the Doppler effect. Again, Jeanerette, you're going to get some pretty good winds here in about, let's see, about how long? About 6:34 in about 20 minutes. So that's going to be something to keep a heads up on. And the National Weather Service is offering an estimate of 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and I think that's very possible. So we'll watch this and see what happens. Let's see. We do have some folks tuning in. Good afternoon to you. I'm going to see if we can figure out who is here. So let's see. Thunderstorms continue to move toward the southwest. It looks like there was a little rotation in that thunderstorm as it was over the basin between White Castle and the area that's out here in the deep abysmal swamp. Let's see, is this continuing to go? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to go back to the how hard is it raining mode. We'll look at the Doppler. And again, I'll put this in motion so we can see these as it produces. Now, we do have some other thunderstorms. It looks like Lafayette's going to cool off just a little bit as this thunderstorm moves through Henderson, through Breaux Bridge, if it stays alive long enough, and it's doubtful that it will. But we did have some little cells popping up here, so I'll just let this run, and we'll take a look at it. So severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that's until another 36 minutes, possibly some hail, possibly some wind gusts to 60 miles an hour, and the Doppler does confirm that we do have some very strong winds right in this area, especially of that thunderstorm complex. It does look like they're calming down just a little bit, but still, I think we're going to see some pretty good winds in the area. Say hi if you're in here watching. I'd like to say howdy back to you. If you don't mind, just drop a comment. Let's see. I'm going to go over to something else here. If I can see what I want to see. Hang on just a second. Okay. I'm looking at the feed on Facebook. That's pretty cool. I've never seen that. Okay, Becky. David's in here apparently. Karen. Courtney, hey, Cork. Good afternoon. Cork, you have some showers just to the northeast of you, it looks like. I'm sure you can probably see those. Paul, hey, Paul Bouchereau. Paul, I'll call you back as soon as we get this done. Glad to see you in here. Hey, Paul, let me hang on a second. Okay, I was getting feedback there. Paul, let me try something with you if you don't mind. Paul is a meteorologist. He's up in Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City, and an old friend. We used to work together at Channel 3. Let me see if we can get Paul in here as a guest. Paul, if you don't mind, go ahead and send me your email address really quickly. Or better yet, hang on a second. Maybe I can do this on Messenger. Hang on just a second. And you can join me here if you want to. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, Paul, I just sent you an invitation to join this experiment with me if you don't mind. We'll see. I'd like to add you in here and we can chat about general thunderstorms. You know all about thunderstorms being up in Oklahoma, and even more so about tornadoes and hail. This cell is indicating a little hail up around 6,000 to 7,000 feet. Okay, I've got it. See if you got that invitation, Paul, and I think you're gonna show up here in the queue whenever you do that. And this will be a first time. I've never had a guest on one of these broadcasts, but I think we would benefit greatly by having some expertise from Paul. As I said, Paul used to be with us at Channel 3, and eventually moved back up to Oklahoma, but he's a good Louisiana boy, a meteorologist. So it'd be fun to add him to the broadcast. Look on Messenger, Paul, if you can, and see if you see that. I'm going to send you this information as well. Let's see if I can send it by email. I think you sent me your email address. Okay, so I think I sent it to you by email as well, Paul. You should have that. Meantime, I'm going to go back and take a quick look at the velocities here in this thunderstorm. And right in here, it looks like where we have the maximum core of winds. The winds are moving the most dynamically right in here. And yeah, we've got some gusts probably around the 40 mile an hour range, 42 and a half. So we could see some 50 mile an hour gusts in here, and possibly as high as 60. Okay, I think I might have heard Paul pop in there. Let's see if I can open this up just a little bit. I'm going to go back to the resolution, and there's Paul. Paul, if you don't mind, I'm going to put you on here with us, and let's see, how can we do this? I think we can do it this way. Hey, there you are. Hey, Paul. Good afternoon. Hang on just a second. I can't hear you. So I'm going to see what we can do. Paul, as I said, is up in Oklahoma. I'm not really terribly sure how to do this. Maybe we can do it this way. Let me zoom in a little bit, and I'm just going to let this thing kind of run by itself. Here's an axis of rain in here from Sherrington to Baldwin. That's going to be moving on up. Let's see here. Paul, I'm going to try to listen to us on Facebook. Let's see if we can. Yeah, maybe so. Okay, Paul, say howdy if you don't mind. Yeah, I'm not hearing you for some reason. Well, doggone it. Let's see here. Again, folks, hang with us. We're experimenting. You want anything? No, I'm good. Well, let's see. Oh goodness. Heidi, good afternoon. Welcome. Carolyn. Paul, I'm not terribly sure why I'm not hearing your audio. Oh, you're on the phone. No, you're not on the phone. Oh, you're trying to call me on the phone. Okay, call me on the phone. Paul was having microphone problems, so that's why we weren't able to hear him. Hello, everybody. See if I can kill this. Okay, so I've killed that, and now we're looking at this only. Okay, so I think we're in good shape now, and I'm going to put myself back down in the corner. We do have some severe thunderstorm warning for a few more minutes down into the southeast of Lafayette through Iberia and St. Martin Parish. Let's take a quick look there and see. Possibility of some hail in this. If you're in that area and you do see any hail, please let me know about it. Or if you see any strong wind gusts or any kind of property damage. Right now, the core of the winds would be somewhere between Sherrington and Baldwin. And honestly, I don't know if we have anybody in that area that's on board here with us this afternoon. We do have some folks. Okay, Steve, I don't know why there's no audio on YouTube, but are you getting the audio here on Facebook? Hopefully. Okay. I don't know. And Carolyn, you're very welcome. I'm hoping it'll be a good service for folks that are interested in the weather and maybe a little concerned when the weather gets bad. So we're going to go back and look inside the thunderstorm. Let's see what's happening. Again, this is the Doppler radar from Lake Charles. And here still is the core of the heaviest winds. It looks like they're moving toward the west or southwest, or west-southwest, at about 10 to 12 miles an hour. So, Generette, you're still going to get some gusty winds if you haven't already. Baldwin, Sherrington, I think you're going to be involved in the winds as well. New Iberia, well, not seeing anything terribly heavy in that area, but there are some winds. 15 maybe, might see some gusts to 15 or so. Here we're still seeing gusts to above 30, 35, 40 in that sort of vicinity. So we'll let this run a little bit. That's one thing the Doppler is very good at showing us is what's going on inside the thunderstorm. And of course, what it's doing is it's tracking the particles, the rain particles, and it can tell with the algorithm in the computer if the raindrops are headed toward the antenna or away from the antenna. Let's back out just a little bit and also show you that we do have some very heavy thunderstorms. They merit a special weather statement from Oberlin all the way up through Rose Pine, just south of Leesville. Again, these thunderstorms, everything is moving toward the west or southwest. And I think it's going to continue to do that throughout the afternoon. As the sun goes down, these thunderstorms will continue to diminish in intensity, but it is going to take just a little bit of time for that to happen. Okay, let's go back to the comments and see. Okay, the audio is back on YouTube. That's good. That's a good thing. So I guess we're in good shape as far as Twitter. Steve, if you have a Twitter account, would you check to see if we are okay on Twitter as well? Because I'm simulcasting with YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So we'll see if that does anything for us. So these thunderstorms are moving toward the southwest. Very likely, if they continue to hold up and they continue to strengthen, there might be a warning for this in just a little bit. We'll have to watch and see. Time now is 6:23, and this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 6:45. So another 20 minutes maybe as we watch this thing glide through the afternoon heat. And hot it's been. My car said about 100 degrees. The airport still officially reporting 94 in New Iberia, and 96 in Lafayette. And here it is, almost 6:30 in the evening. Big old thunderstorm moving through here across the swamp and into Acadiana. Baldwin, you're going to be seeing some pretty heavy winds. Looks like this thunderstorm is decreasing a little bit in intensity, so I think that's going to be a good thing. I'll remind you, if you see anything that looks like property damage, I would very, very much appreciate it if you'd pass that along, and I'll get on the horn with the National Weather Service and we'll pass it along to them. Again, the reasoning is very simple. They can't see below 6,000 feet here in this area with the radar beam, since the Earth is a curve, that type situation, and radar's line of sight. So anything that they can get observationally under some of these returns helps them to figure out if this thing is severe and needs a warning, or if it's just kind of a garden variety thunderstorm. I'm going to zoom back in on it. And this is the area that I'm concerned about, but not overly concerned, since I think most of the rain is up here around Matilda and Adeline and Jeanneret, Sorrel, and headed toward, wow, some of these names I'd never heard, didn't know they existed. Lyons, Masters, Matilda, I'd never heard that name before down here. Julian, Four Corners. Now we know there's a bunch of Four Corners around. I guess this is the one that's south of Jeanneret. Okay, so that's what the Doppler shows right now. Just for curiosity's sake, let's see what the Doppler is estimating the 1 hour rainfall totals are. And we can go ahead and take a look at that. They're saying just to the north of Sherrington, it looks like we've had a little over an inch of rain. Remember, that's where we're looking at the heaviest rain. But generally through this, we're looking at anywhere from 3/4 to 1 inch of rain in the core of the thunderstorms. Over here near Jeanneret, it looks like maybe we've had 1/4 of an inch or so of rain. If you're in the Jeanneret area, I'd appreciate it if you could help us confirm that, maybe. As I said, the Doppler estimates are just that. They're estimates. But sometimes they're pretty accurate. So it'd be interesting to see how that compares if you, in fact, have a rain gauge. So let's see here. Cell is moving toward the southwest. If you're a boater at Sycamore Point, I'd go ahead and pull in the sails, rig down, because there's going to be some wind associated with that, even though it's not a severe thunderstorm. When it approaches Sycamore Point, which is going to be right in here, I think you're going to see Sycamore Point's going to be right in here. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a little gusty. Now, Courtney should have some stuff up here. In fact, I'm going to mute out for a second and ask, well, Courtney, are you still on here? I'm wondering if you are. Is it raining at your place? And might we have an observation? It looks like a small but pretty intense little thunderstorm. Yeah, the thunderstorm is definitely decreasing in intensity. You can see the return changing, but this one is coming up. So Karen Crow, you're going to get some water here in just a minute. Cankton, Bristol just had a little shower move through. Stecky is going to get some water in here. I'm going to back out a little bit so we can look at it. This thunderstorm is increasing in intensity. Back to the velocities. Oh, well, I don't know what happened there. Okay, there we go. I'm back on the velocities page now. So some pretty good rain right in here. Fairly decent wind. 15, 20 mile an hour winds, I'd say. But I don't see anything dangerous in that. Let's go back and take a look and see what the winds are doing down here. Still some 30 mile an hour winds knocking around in this thunderstorm. So I think you're going to see some gusty surface winds. Sherrington, you should be getting this cell. And right about now, it's there. The Iberia, it looks like this thunderstorm is going to be moving south of you, but it'll probably grow some and morph a little bit to the northwest. So I think you could probably see some thunderstorm activity as well. Again, there's a severe thunderstorm warning for this thunderstorm, and it's still got a pretty good core of wind right in here. And sure enough, that agrees with this. This is a building and fading type situation, which is pretty typical for thunderstorms. They'll pulse up and down in strength as they move through the atmosphere. We've had some cold air aloft today, so that's probably why we're seeing some pop-up thunderstorms. And of course, the immense heat at the surface and some drier winds at the mid-level. So yeah, I'm not surprised we're seeing some thunderstorms. As I said, as the sun goes down, we're going to see fewer of these thunderstorms. They'll be fading out just a little bit. So let's see here. I'm going to put this back in motion. And this is the radar as of right now. There you go. Between Sherrington and Jeanerette along Highway 182, that's where you have the heaviest rainfall at this time. Just approaching Highway 182 and State Route 87. Is that an 87? I think it is. So between Jeanerette and Adeline and Sherrington. Sherrington, you just got a big dose of rain, it looks like. We'll let this sit there for a moment and cycle back and forth. I know it's not pleasant to have severe and near severe thunderstorms, but boy, it's been so blooming dry. We can certainly use the rain. And this one's dumping some pretty good rain. I'd say maybe an inch or so, maybe a little more, right in here between Jeanerette and Sherrington. Notice the top end of this thing is starting to fall apart a little bit. Let's go back up and take a look at this thunderstorm complex. In fact, I'm going to let you watch this if you don't mind, and let me call my son who's up in that area and see what the weather's like. I thought he was in here for the moment. Oh, Twitter handle. Steve, I think it's EdRoy LA. I'm pretty sure it's EdRoy LA. And thanks for the comments from Kim and David and Courtney about the thumbs up. Appreciate that, guys. It's nice. Somebody told me the other day, said, I used to watch you when you were on television. I said, well, thank God somebody was watching. Because if I was standing there talking to myself, that wasn't very productive. But thank you for watching this afternoon. That's a good thing. I'm going to move this guy out of the way so we can continue to watch the thunderstorms blossom in the afternoon Acadiana heat. Again, I would remind you if you're coming in and you'd like to make comments, and we'd love to have you make comments because it's a community type thing, please go to steamyard.com/Facebook, and it will ask you if it's okay to use your name and picture. And then when I will know you know, who's commenting, that would be great. That would be just wonderful. Steve, again, I think the Twitter handle is EdroyLA. If you don't mind, let me know if that's working. I know you're watching it on Facebook now. I mean, on YouTube now, so that's a good thing. And let's see, Miss Heidi, if you're still in here, good afternoon to you. And Carolyn, again, thank you so much for the input on the page. I'm glad you like it. That's good. It's a good thing. Spread the word. The more folks we have, the more dynamic this will be. And of course, the whole objective is to try to get some observations for the National Weather Service. They can certainly use those. Okay, let's see what this thunderstorm is doing now. It appears as though the severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire. And you can see for yourself with the radar return that this thunderstorm is decreasing in intensity. So the rain is decreasing a little bit. It might be just raining itself out. You will see some stabilization of the atmosphere with this because the rain does cool the atmosphere a bit. And that subsidence will help to kill the thunderstorms. Still, yeah, nice little thunderstorm, but no longer severe. And let's see, we're watching this guy up here. Hang on a second, my audio will be right back. I want to make a quick phone call. Okay, I'm back as far as the microphone is concerned. And it looks like now the thunderstorms are decreasing in intensity. I'm not seeing anything that's dangerous at this point. So I'm going to say we'll probably just go ahead and terminate this broadcast. Let me go back to the radar real quickly and look. We'll do a quick run around. Yeah, you can see this thunderstorm is rapidly decreasing in intensity. We'll look and see how much rain they might have gotten in here. Again, a Doppler estimate, so it's not going to be the best thing in the world, but it sure beats just guessing. So right in here, a little over a half inch of rain. Right in here, same thing. Some places it was a heavier thunderstorm, if you'll remember, when it was back over the basin. So some places got almost an inch of rain or so. Better than 3/4 of an inch. Here's 1.91 inches of rain. So where we didn't really need it, we got some. The rain over the basin. And we can go back to the velocities real quickly. This thunderstorm is falling apart. It's no longer a threat. So we're going to close up shop here. If anything else develops, I will come back. But hope you have a great afternoon. And again, thank you so much for checking in. Hang on just a second. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much for checking in, and enjoy the rest of the day. As I said, if anything dangerous pops up, we'll certainly let you know. Thanks.